Hey everybody, this is Etho. Thank you for joining me yet again. Um, so, I thought I'd do a follow-up of last episode on General Spaz, because many of you were wondering how this all worked, so I might as well reveal my secrets. This thing took a while to set up. I did not use any mods or external editors like InVedit or anything like that. It's all done naturally, I should say. This is the tower, General Spaz's tower. How did I get him up there? There's a little elevator in here. Very simple. Originally, I had a spiral staircase, uh, a water spiral staircase, kind of like I've been building at my base, and that did not work. He would not go up it, so I just did this. It's much simpler, and it's just two water sources. I actually learned something really interesting about this. What I was doing is when night came, I ran into the forest and got a creeper to chase me, General Spaz. Ran to the tower with him chasing me. Then I ran out around the backside. Used F3 to see where he was. And when he got to the elevator there, he would swim up into the tower, and then he was stuck in the tower, is how it worked. But the thing I found interesting is originally when I did this, I just had the one water source at the top and none down here. And what happened when he walked into the tower, he just sat here. The first time I tried it, he wouldn't swim up. So by placing a water source here, I learned that when I tried it again, he swam up to the top. So that's a pretty interesting thing about how mobs work. If they touch a water source, a solid water source, they start swimming up. But if it's just a stream, it doesn't change their state. So that information is going to help me later, I'm sure. And yeah, okay, let's go back up the tower. I have the dispensers here, which are full of arrows. And those were simply fired by Spaz by stepping on these pressure plates. I discovered I had to punch holes in the glass so that his pathfinding could actually see me, because before that he was just wandering randomly up here. And quite often well, I got it on my third take actually, that scene, but the first two were very short because Spaz messed up here. I think I have a video of it actually. Uh-huh. I knew it. Well, that didn't work out. So the really hard part was getting all four beach troopers, or whatever you want to call them. Oh crap. Without messing up everything. So to do it properly, I had to run around at night and collect creepers like that into the holes, all four holes, with General Spaz in the tower. I had a bow with me in case any skeletons or whatever spawned nearby. I had to deal with them so that I could go get more creepers. And at the same time, I wasn't allowed to leave this area. Like, if I walked 32 blocks away, there's a chance mobs will despawn. So I had to collect creepers. That's not good. Well, that's gonna mess up my explanation here. Right. Where is he? So, in order to do this, required many, many backups because I kept messing up. But basically, I got him in the hole, covered it up. Had to get 4 guys in the holes. Spaz in the tower wasn't allowed to leave the area for very long to collect more creepers. Had to deal with other mobs. And the thing is, so I had the TNT. I'm really getting sick of skeletons. TNT fell on a pressure plate, which activated a bunch of repeaters here that were covered by sand. The final repeater went right where that stone block is, which sand is being held up by these torches here. The water flows down here, destroys the torches, causes the sand to fall, which releases the creepers because like this block of sand falls, destroys the signs, the sand over top falls down, which creates the stairs for the creepers to climb out and get me, is how it worked. Very complicated. So the repeater passes a current through this block here, which caused the water to update, which was set up like this. And this had to be all covered. So the water poured down, caused the sand to fall, released the creepers. But one thing I discovered is I didn't have this set up right, so I actually had to, with the creepers still here, dig them out. Which was near impossible without them blowing up. Oh, I'm dead. What the heck? Oh man. It was very challenging to set up. That's all I'm going to tell you. My explanation is ruined now, so not much more I can explain here because everything's destroyed now. Required many backups. Yeah. Okay. On with the show. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about them blowing up my beach, so I just loaded another backup. So here we are again, back like it was. But yeah, I realized, like when I tested it out with the way it is here, the creeper was where the stone is here, and the sand fell on him, and he was supposed to jump up and jump on top the sand. But what I found was most of the time they wouldn't do that. They were unable to see me because the sand was inside of them. So they just stood there and I could actually walk right up to the creeper and touch them without them blowing up. It's kind of weird. So what I had to do was, with the creeper still in here, I had to extend this, make it one longer, and place a torch at the bottom. Had to dig this down, place a torch, and oh yeah, another thing, I had a chest here hidden under the sand so that when I was all done I could hide whatever was in my inventory that wasn't supposed to be there, like TNT. or pressure plates or anything like that. Just gonna make a sign here. So what happened is I had another sign. This was longer. Had the creeper stand where the torch is. And so when the sand falls on him this time, the torch destroys the sand. So there, he would be inside air then. So it was fine. But I had to make some more sand blocks fall down so that their pathfinding could see me. It was a big challenge. The pathfinding was the main issue I had, and keeping the mobs from despawning while I collected more. But yeah, that's it. That's how it worked. So obviously these towers aren't very useful if you plan on loading them with creepers, because the creepers will just despawn. But they might be useful if you plan on operating them yourselves, because it's a really easy way of setting up a defense that you can choose where you're going to fire. Like if I wanted to shoot in front of me, just have to walk forward. You could set up big walls lined with dispensers and arrows. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. Now let's head back to the base now. Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk about is the mob systems I've built. I've kind of been ho-humming about them, about what I'm going to do, because to be completely honest, I'm not totally happy with the way they're turning out. Like, don't get me wrong, they're really neat and everything, but I started building the mob system back in episode 15 actually, which was a long time ago. And at that time I didn't know very much about mob behavior or how to build spawning pads or anything like that. I kind of figured it out as I went along and pieced it all together. And this is what we have now. A few things I redid, tried to improve certain things. It's working so-so, but in all honesty it's kind of sloppy in my opinion, so I've been trying to figure out what to do. I can't really tear it down and start fresh because that would involve redesigning the storage room and everything to do what I want to do. So I'm not going to do that. The plan is I'm going to finish this up as well as I can, and then if I want everything working to the point where I'm happy with it. So for example, this pig separator here, I'm very happy with this. It works perfect in my opinion. The only issue is if like 7 pigs fall down at the same time, they might not get split here. They might go with the sheep and cows. Not a big deal. I can extend that if I want, or I could make it so that they don't converge to a one wide stream here and make it wider, and I won't have any issues. The other thing I'm really happy with is the wolf separator. That seems to work perfect. Some things I'm not happy with at the moment are the chicken killing thing, because they seem to get stuck in the doors, kind of. So I might work on fixing that. Obviously that junction's not to my liking because there's a sheep stuck there. I don't like this being a 2x2 area because mobs can get stuck like this quite frequently. So I'm going to change that. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to figure out how to get this working well, all the individual parts, and then if I ever make a base somewhere else in my LP series, when I redo it all, it'll be really easy to figure out, and I'll have everything working neatly and cleanly and organized the way I want it. Nice and compact instead of having like a long tunnel here for the pig to get killed. I'm also really happy with the way I'm getting cooked pork chops there. That seems to work really well. Spawning pads, if I ever build them again in the future, they will probably be an odd number, with all the mobs converging to a 1-by-1 area. I know how to do that now properly. Before, when I tried it, like if I make all these streams merge together with a 1-block opening only instead of this 2-by-2 area, the mobs won't fall down the 1-block wide area, the 1-by-1. They'll just keep bumping each other, and it takes forever for them to fall down if they do. But I know how to fix that now, which I won't show you now, but later I will, if I do that. These spawning pads I'll probably change in the future if I do it again. I have issues with chickens getting stuck in the stairs here sometimes. These chickens are really small, they can fit in that corner cutout section, and then they don't move. Yeah. So, I think next episode we're going to work on cleaning this one up. We want this one working well as we can get it to, so we're going to fix it up. One thing I'm going to do next episode, I think, is get rid of this 2-by-2 area and try and make it a 1-by-1 so that they don't get stuck here. And then later we're going to hopefully build our barn or whatever down there where the sheep and cows go and the wolves. One thing I have to figure out yet is how to shear the wool off sheep well. Like obviously wolves, the untamed wolves can do it, but I just can't throw a bunch of wolves and sheep together and expect it to work well, because the problem with that is eventually there'll be so many wolves that no more other mobs will spawn, so I only need one to shear the sheep, and I have to make a way for it to auto-detect that there's only one, and if he ever despawns I need a way for it to know he's despawned so that it'll send another wolf, and only one wolf, and it's kind of complicated. I actually experimented with it. I got some footage of it, I'll show you here. The idea is I had a wolf on one individual block floating in the air, and I thought if I made a sheep pass right by him that he'll shear the sheep off the sheep as it falls down. But the problem is he just jumps to his death like an idiot. So unfortunately that test didn't go the way I wanted it to. The idea was the wolf would be standing on a pressure plate on one block in midair, and if he was on the pressure plate the door would be closed that would determine whether a wolf would be let onto the pressure plate, and that was how I was going to control only having one wolf to shear the sheep. And I was hoping he wouldn't jump off the block as the sheep came by, but he did, so it didn't work. So, need to come up with another method, and like I tried before, he can't shear the wool off sheep through a door, because I could have a pressure plate just outside the door here that he would be standing on. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, and there's just no good way of doing it, I think. No automatic way. I might just make it manual. Like I might have to let in one wolf manually. 'Cause I don't know how else to do it. But anyway, that's the end of this episode. Sorry for making it a talky one. Next episode will actually do something. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.